Good morning, Brian. A couple days later than I wanted, but 'tis the season. Got caught up in some Christmas stuff, and the Winter Sim League has got me going crazy. So better late than never. This is our first lesson review. Just to recap, I thought I really enjoyed the dialogue. I thought everything certainly made sense at every level. Some of the key talking points that we discussed. For the good things, I think you do about 90% of the things well. You've got good footwork, a good working knowledge. I love your leg action, certainly. Some of the negatives, your sequencing is certainly a little bit upside down. You get that club too far behind you early at P2, which we discussed. And we don't shallow out in transition. You kind of rise into transition, which gets us into a scenario where we're working too much in straight lines. So here's some video action. We'll discuss a lot of these things as we go. I'm not going to go too far into depth, because I want you to concentrate on those wall drills, P2, and transition, and that alone. So here we go. Reasonable setup. Didn't talk about your grip much. We're going to leave that grip alone. It's certainly functional enough. We may get into it later based on some certain matchups. But the first thing that we talked about is there's your club. I'm going to be looking to the guy on the right. There's your club at P2. We can clearly see where that club head is all the way behind you. It's due to excessive forearm rotation early, okay? So your arms and your hands really dictate and promote your takeaway. It's not your core. I'm going to send you a video of myself here in a second. It's going to help you with this. But the club gets too far behind early because of excessive forearm rotation. Ideally, that club head should be about right there. Okay, I'm going to undo that. I'm going to undo that. So that wall drill helps promote this. Anytime the club gets behind you early, chances are it's going to rise late. As we take the club to the top, I'm going to stop right here. So there's only 3 or 4 parts of the golf swing that I'm curious about. First time club is parallel to the ground. That's P2. Second thing is first time your lead arm, left arm, is parallel to the ground. That's right now. Now I put a red line that indicates your shaft plane. Okay, you can see that where that red line is. Pay attention to that as we transition to the top. In a perfect world, that should be the top of your golf swing. We're going to allow you to get long. That's fine. That may shorten over time with some things that we do. But more importantly, the second time your lead arm gets to parallel to the ground, the indicator is the yellow line. That's where your shaft line is. So this is where your sequencing is upside down. The yellow line should be under the red line at this point. So basically what I'm saying is the yellow line should be where you are on the takeaway. The red line should be where you are in transition. You're flip-flopped. A lot of that has to do with that P2 position. If I were to bring you, I'm just going to take it to the top. If I go backwards, this should be your, now this, again, the video is going to be going backwards. Look at the guy on the right. This should be your P2 position. This should be you. First time left arm's parallel. And now watch this transition. you could see that the hands are falling down. And look where your shaft is. Boom. Okay. Now, that is the video running backwards, because now we're going to be at address position. So if we run your video swing backwards, your transition is beautiful. If we run it forwards, it's upside down. That may or may not make sense to you at this point, but those are the things that we're really going to talk about later. Okay. There's impact position. We talked a lot about impact position. You have too much verticality to that. I'd like to see more depth. I'd like to see your ass sticking out. You know, if the wall was there. We talked about that early extension. Your hips thrust forward and you stand up as opposed to rotating behind. I'm going to clear everything. Let's see. I'm just going to clear everything. Now we're going to focus on the guy over to the left. As we get into impact, when your hands are over your trail thigh, your right thigh, at this point that club should be about there. You can clearly see where the club has you've already lost that lag. I don't necessarily like the word lag. Too many people are on pursuit to lag and they don't really know what it is, but you've clearly lost that. And it has more to do with just your body stopping and your hands and arms do all the work. Okay. Ideally, there's where your hand position should be. Okay. We can clearly see that the impact has already happened. So your shaft is now like that. It should be right there. Okay. We know that that's not the case now. I'm going to clear everything. Watch your core. It just stops. It's probably a little easier to see from the guy on the right. Watch your body, your core. It just stops rotating. From this point on, no rotation, no rotation, no rotation, no rotation, no rotation, no rotation. Arms and hands have taken over, and all it is a slap. Okay? Your club is already, your club head, let's see, your club head is right there. Okay? It disappears behind your body way too early. It's already gone. It's behind your body. So you really have no extension. A lot of information, maybe too much information, but that's the stuff that we're going to be working on. Thank you for sending me that wall drill. It looks great. I would do it slower, and I would stop at impact. The video that you sent me, you kind of blurred right through impact and went into your finish. So stop that club. I want you to know what perfect impact look like. So when you do that wall drill, the wall's going to keep the P2, P3 position good, but I want you to stop at impact. So your hands at impact are over your front thigh, your left thigh, and the club is compressed or it's a forward-leaning shaft. So a lot of information. Let me know that you received this. Keep working hard. I'm getting ready to send you a second video just through my phone that's going to help you with excessive forearm rotation.